Um, is it okay if I refer to you as Steve?
Yes,
Okay. Steve, how old are you?
50,
Okay. And where do you live?
Green Bay.
Okay. And does he still live on Stony Brook Lane?
Yes,
And that's in Green Bay. What area of Green Bay is that?
West Side.
All right. How long have you lived at Stony Brook Lane?
Almost 3 years.
And who do you live there with?
Tara,
And what's Tara's last name?
packing it.
And are you in a relationship with Tara?
Yes,
All right. And how long has that been?
almost 3 years.
Okay. And that's, I guess, why you live at that house now?
Yeah,
Okay. Does anyone else live at that house?
part-time Ava,
Okay. And
her daughter.
who's Ava?
Tara's daughter.
All right. And is she still a juvenile?
Yes,
Did Tara have any other children who, on occasion, would be at the house?
yes,
And who is that?
Shad.
And Shad, was that her son?
Yes,
And did he live there full-time, part-time? I guess, what was that arrangement?
it was partially when he wanted to eat, change, or do his laundry and whatnot.
And I guess looking in like February of 2022, by that point, was Shad an adult?
Yes,
So I want to ask you, Steve, about February 21st, 2022. It was a Monday. Do you recall the date I'm talking about?
yes,
And on that date, or were you still living at the Stony Brook Lane house with Tara?
yes,
On that date, did you have contact with Shad on that day?
yes.
Okay. And I guess what happened on the 21st?
Well, 21st during the day. It depends what you're referring to. There's several different
Sure.
occasions.
At some point, did you and Tara go to dinner?
Yes,
And who did you go to dinner with?
with Shad.
And do you remember where you went?
Courthouse Bar and Grill.
Is that also in Green Bay?
Yes, East Side.
Do you remember what time you would have gone to dinner?
It was during the day, 3-ish maybe. I'm not positive, but
Okay. And then were you there for a little bit of time?
yes.
Do you remember what you did after dinner was done?
I believe we went home.
And what time would that have been, if you remember?
I'm not positive. It's still light out.
All right. And you went home, do you mean the Stony Brook Lane house?
Yes.
And what happened when you got back to that house?
I don't recall, but I remember Shad leaving. I'm not sure.
Did you see who Shad left with?
Yes,
And who is that?
that was Taylor.
And did you know who Taylor was prior to that day?
I met her several times.
And I guess, how did you meet her? I guess, what was that?
Through Shad.
Would she come over to the house?
Well, there was only one time prior that she was at the house, but they weren't in the house.
So it was just sort of in passing you had had contact with Taylor?
Yes, I pulled in a driveway and they were trying to break into the house.
Okay. So you had known Taylor prior to February 21st?
Just that one occasion.
Okay. And they left the Stony Brook house, is that right?
Yes.
Did you see how they left the house?
No, I did not.
Was Shad driving at that time?
I don't believe so. His truck was in the pound.
All right, so he didn't have a vehicle?
No, not at the time.
And I know it's a while ago. Do you remember what time they would have left the house?
Not exactly.
By that point, was it dark out or still light?
I believe it was still light out.
All right. And at any point that night, did Shad return to the home?
About 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, somewhere around there.
So 1 or 2 in the morning, would that have been then into the morning of the 22nd?
Sure.
All right. And what happened when Shad got home in the morning?
He rang the doorbell 6, 7 times in a row. That's his little key. Yes.
And did you open the door for him?
Yes.
What door did they enter through?
We only use the back door of our place because that's where the driveway is. So that's the only door we use.
So the door that sort of is next to the
It's on
driveway?
the side. It's on the side of the house, yes.
All right. Do you use the front door?
No, not really.
Okay. Is that kind of
It's
locked
kind of
usually?
blocked. It's kind of blocked off. We have junk in front of it.
So is it that, whenever people are entering or leaving
It's
that
always,
home?
it's always backside door.
Okay. And so Shad kind of rings the doorbell 6, 7 times, you said, is that right?
Yeah,
Was anyone with him?
yes,
Who?
Taylor.
And did you see how they had arrived at the home?
No, I did not. I just opened the door.
And what happened when you opened the door for them?
They came in and went right downstairs.
In that time, in that 1 or 2 a.m. on the 22nd there, did you notice anything out of the ordinary behavior-wise with either Shad or Taylor?
No.
Had you previously had contact with Taylor, right?
Yes.
Anything different from that time versus the prior times you met with her?
No.
When she came over earlier in the day to pick up Shad, did you have contact with Taylor then?
Yes, she came in the house.
Sort of asked the same questions. Was there any kind of odd behaviors that you were observing?
No.
So then when Taylor and Shad then go into the basement, how do you get to the basement from that door, that storm door?
Straight down the steps,
So it's
right by the door. The door continues to go down. If you take a left right at the top, you'll go into the kitchen. But if you go straight down, it goes to the basement.
So they go right down there. What do you do?
I went back upstairs. I went back to bed.
So I want to ask a few questions then about the layout of the home.
Okay.
So the area that you're talking about, the door, is that on the main level?
Yes.